These are the 3 parts I'm painting. This one will be the maroon. Here, the handle, I'm going to paint it right up to here. So this will be the maroon.
Sure.
Because that's all I need to protect.
There is the hardener that goes with it.
Yeah.
When you buy it. Oh yeah, let me.
You get these. Each can comes one.
Let me. Oh yeah, that's good. And that's called the B. So you got the B and then the A. Just finished mixing the paint and it's cured for 20 minutes.
It's about 20, yeah. A little under because it's a little bit drier this morning.
What do we do when we have a plastic or an acrylic part that's intricate, small, detailed, something that would be very difficult to polish on a bench buffer?
So it's important to note, right, everything we're doing is not in real time. There's no lapse going on here or something, huh?
That's right, no time lapse.
So this will give you a good idea what it takes to do this just simple little cover. Hello and welcome. This is Shop Adventures 35. I'm Lance.
And I'm Patrick.
All right. Wow, we got some envelopes, some viewer mail this week.
Yes.
And we did get viewer mail. It's actually from 3 YouTube creators.
Yeah.
And I know Patrick can't stand to wait. Making him wait all week for this stuff is ridiculous. So
it's very hard.
It is. He just can't wait till the UPS truck comes or the FedEx or Roadway Express or any of those services that drop off stuff all the time. I got 2 shout outs before you get to open your mail, and then I'll let you open your mail.
Okay, sure.
Okay. EDS Inc. Shandon. Jeff, thank you very much, as Jeff's company is a Northern California door manufacturer, a very professional one, mind you. I just love everybody who views this channel because he said that seal set, the seal kit we put on that door is called an Astrogale.
Yeah, I would have never known that.
Astrogale seal set. And sure as behold, you go search it, and it is. It's exactly what we own, and it's the best door seal I can imagine. So now we always learning.
Yeah, it looks great, the installation.
Yeah, it did come out really nice. Okay, and I have a shout out to Joe's shop. Joe, thank you very much down there in Florida for the shout out to us. That's nice of you. You're a good man. He's a man with a giant toolbox in his kitchen. Imagine getting away with that.
Is he single?
I don't think so. So this is, it's the same one we have, the Milwaukee.
Oh, really?
That big giant one, it's his bar. It's happier than ours. It's got alcohol all over.
Oh, wow. That's a nice tool chest.
It is with those smooth drawers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, want me to start? Why don't you cut one open and I'll start with Tom over there at Hilltop Machine Works. Sent us a couple of magazines. Him and I just love his shop, right? We know, because I always call it the bunker.
Yes.
I just think it's the greatest place. Okay, it got a letter. He was featured in a couple of magazines, and him and I we're both Jeep fanatics. He has a Jeep CJ5. I used to have one. 1978 was mine with a V8 in it.
Right, in your younger years, you used to race.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. have a past. Okay, well, he's featured in this magazine, and it's really nice he sent him. His letter says, I thought you might enjoy copies of magazines I was in since you are fellow Jeepsters. One is an ad for Optima batteries, and I explained, the editor, Crawl Magazine, rode with me a group. Oh, this is nice. Okay, this is good. So this is nice, Tom. Thank you. We'll read these, and we love all this. I love the interaction. I love something away from just our machining world. We don't not just robots over here. So
right.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, thank you. I'll read all that later. You bet.
Okay, there's an international package.
Oh, let me pronounce it correctly so I don't cause an international steer from Wales, not the UK. And it's from Aid.
Oh, okay.
Not Addy. I'm not going through that again. He made something, sent it. We don't know what anything is till we open it. We don't open anything until the day of the filming, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. A little fun gift from Aid. Hi, Lance and Patrick. So the mystery gift. It's a very small, by most standards, sign bar. I made it to do some angle setups on some small parts on the surface grinder. It is hardened to Rockwell 60.
How adorable.
Oh.
Wow, look at that. I'll have to take some photos of it.
It's good. That's perfect.
This is our size. Oh, this fits perfect in a workshop.
Oh, it says, as you can imagine, it is not likely to be of any use to me anymore, as I don't even have slip gauges to use with. Thank you for your positive comments, guys. Your friend, Adrian.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Aid. Thank you
Hey,
so
thank you.
much.
That's really nice of you.
Oh, I love little tools.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me put this here so I don't.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
want to strap.
sure.
Okay, and there's the one you got. This came to you, actually, right? This was sent to us, but somebody felt you wanted to have this.
Yeah, I guess I answered the email, and it's from Dudley Toolwright.
Yeah, I don't think too many people don't know who he is, so he's pretty good.
Yeah, and well, I should tell. Oh, he did tell me, but he didn't give me a detailed description. He just said these are small collets that you could probably use because he said they're small enough that he has no use for them or they won't fit any of his machines.
And I want you to know it killed him. It just literally killed Patrick. He asked me twice if we could just open him and then retape it. And I told him it wasn't going to fly. And of course it came in early in the week, right?
Yeah, it did.
So it had to sit here all week. And of course there's me. I wonder what's in here.
Oh, tortured me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sure.
Ooh, we got it vacuum packed.
Oh, wow, look at that. It is vacuum
Well, that's a nice
packed.
packaging job.
Wow.
Interesting. Watch out now. It's gonna fling. You feel it?
Yeah, make sure.
We get excited too.
Oh, yeah.
Look at those.
Oh, there's a variety.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, yeah, some of these. Look at this. Here, let me pick up a few. See if I can do this.
You know that style?
Yeah, see, here's a few. Let's see if I can get them. I'll take photos of these too, so you'll get a better picture. But yeah, you know what? I know this style. It's not all the styles.
I don't know this style.
But this one looks so familiar to me. I don't know why. But we'll definitely do our research. Thank you so much.
That is really neat.
That's a nice assortment.
Did you pounce his name?
Oh, well, I said Dudley Toolwright.
Oh, okay.
Robert Whitcamp.
Yeah,
Yeah, Robert Whitcamp.
that's really nice.
Thank you so much, Robert. That's really nice of you to think about us.
Yeah.
I mean, oh no, we'll definitely.
We'll do something fun here. I can just sense it.
Lance and I talked about it, and we definitely have a project in mind for these, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Thank you. We'll post a picture, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Share it really good with you guys. Really neat. Okay, let's get into what Shop Adventures is going to do this week. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I finished doing some very special painting and a little instruction and some education on 2-part epoxy primers and paints, both in curing times and everything else.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat for me. This is a week of basically finishing, right?
Yeah, it was.
It's finishing work week.
Yeah.
Just 2 projects this week. Well, you know why there's only 2 projects this week? Can I share it?
Sure.
Okay, here's what's happened. We made a promise to one fellow YouTuber that if we got a bunch of subscribers or something that we would make available the video from me when I was young.
Right.
In my father's CNC machine shop. And we did it. The video was salvageable. It was a VHS. It is now digital thanks to Pat's hard-ass work. It was a lot of effort. It cost us almost all of our work this week.
Oh, because the quality was really bad.
We didn't think we were going to save it.
And it took a lot of effort because, so you actually thought you lost this tape.
It's long gone. Move here, move there, finally settled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was stored very poorly. So we were so fortunate. And I think we finally, I mean, after working with it and enhancing it, I think it came out okay. Pretty good.
We did 2 versions, huh? Pat was smart. He wanted to do 2 versions. One, the way it came.
That's right, the original.
Cleaned up, but I mean, the original
enhanced.
music, my father speaks in this video. I do not, by the way.
No.
No. But I'm lucky I showed up at all because we almost couldn't save that either, but we got me. That's my first time ever on video. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Ever. Yeah, we didn't grow up with fancy stuff like that.
And the second version is with you where you narrate.
Yeah, I've narrated it heavily and shared the facts and details of my youth with this video. Now, this video will be out on Thursday night.
Thursday night for sure.
It's done. It's over with. It's in the can. This has nothing to do with shop adventures. It's just about, one of them's about 4 minutes, and the other one's what, about 10?
9-10 minutes.
Yeah, for the narrated one with the intro.
Yeah,
is 9 or 10 minutes. The other one's just 4 minutes or so.
About 4 minutes. Yeah.
And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you'll see how machine shops were in the year 1980, about 39 years ago.
Right.
So it's quite a state of the art if you want to think back in time to see such a thing.
It's pretty fascinating and pretty funny at the same time because you get to see, how things were at that time. And
it's not really old, but yet it's not very new, and a lot has changed since. So
in a lot of ways, when you see these old CNC machines, in a lot of ways, they're still similar.
Nothing's changed.
And nothing's changed. Yeah, they got fancy.
Oh, we got the safety Sally stuff.
Oh, yeah. So you're going to notice, back then, there were no safety shields or anything.
Nah, you kidding me? Look, I got all 10 fingers. Both eyes. Okay.
Great.
That's it, right? Oh, well, did. No, you did some finishing work, and that's really neat. You gave a great lesson this week. So
I'm polishing plastic and acrylic.
Yes, you did.
And because what I wanted to show was I wanted to show you guys how we polish plastic and acrylic parts, where we're talking small, detailed, intricate parts that you just can't take over to a buffer like a bench polisher. And so we show what we do, what product we use, and it's a product we've been using, for almost 20 years, and we're really satisfied with the product, and we'll give you all full details, obviously. But here's the thing: the part we were going to focus on entirely was for the Cary bench micrometer comparator.
Right. For it's a safety thing, right?
Yeah, and it's like a guard for the micrometer head. But the problem is because it's a new old stock tool, it's actually in too good condition.
It cleaned up too easy.
Yeah, cleaned up too easy.
It would have made your demonstration ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks too good. So I find another part out in the workshop that's a little worse condition, and we share that, and we show the before and after and give a little lesson.
We do.
Yeah, and fortunately it's successful. So we're really happy with the results.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a good example was done for you guys. So that's what it is this week. That's where we're at, and we're going to go out and we're going to teach a little painting and some safety stuff going on with that. Yeah. And off to some polishing, and I hope you guys will enjoy Thursday night's video. It's the shortest one we ever do.
Yeah.
But anyway, enjoy it, and let us know what you think. Comments are open on that too.
Oh, wide open.
Oh yeah, so knock yourselves out. Go ahead and pick on the young man.
Yeah, make fun of him.
Who cares?
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Well, Lance is very happy this morning because he's back on the spindexer.
All right, I am back because it passed all that inspection testing for the roundness, right? Out around, was it within round, right, Pat?
Oh yeah, the run out was incredibly low. We were so impressed.
And the test we didn't share, which was the parallelism, was perfect. So I just couldn't get over it.
Yeah, all the readings were very minimal, so it really surprised us.
That brings me to a point. I'm getting ready to paint this fine tool, and I know that it's really old and vintage, and that it's hand ground on the spin wheel part of it, and so because it's so precise, I guess I put a little more pride into it. Is that what happens to us?
Right.
If it's lasted this long and it's in such good repeatability stage, I probably really need. It kind of puts a little pressure on me. I need it to be as good. I need to be as good with this as it stayed by itself for the past 80 years or whatever it's been.
Right.
So I'm going to paint in a commercial grade 2-part epoxy today by Sherwin-Williams and Company. And the reason I'm mentioning it's Sherwin-Williams is this is the state of California, and Patrick's going to share something a little bit later. For now, I'm going to take you guys through 3 special stages. One is the prep stage for doing the 2-part epoxy paint, and the next 2 stages are this way. I will take you over, and we're going to paint it on a tarp on the floor, and then it's going to move over here, and we're in the machine shop, by the way, and we're going to put it under an infrared light, and I'm going to explain how that heat process that actually works, and how hot it gets the metal, and how that actually fully cures. And then that's it, and it will be unmasked and used. But let's go ahead and let's get started with the prep process before I bring you over and show you the type of paint we used. Okay, and notice I've already poured the paint and measured it sitting at about 4 ounces of each. That's about the minimum I can do. And this is a 3-to-1 part epoxy paint that requires this hardener. And so until I pour this hardener in, I got all day to play on sharing with you here. Right, Patrick?
That's
because
right.
until I pour in the 1 part, this never going to get hard. It's going to stay soft. You don't want to, I mean, you're going to go for hours, but you don't want to go for days.
That's right.
Okay, and I'm just going to mix that 1 part in here to this little point, and I'm going to pour it into each one of these. I'm going to let them cure. Cure time for this paint is about 20 minutes. I got to be honest with you, though, and it lasts about a shelf life after it's mixed for about 1 hour at our temperature ratio. There's various ratios based on where you live, the environment, the humidity, and the temperatures and all that, right, Pat? So
Yeah, because we're a really dry environment,
Yeah,
so it's a much shorter time
we don't get
for
no
us.
hour. It starts to become glue, well, kind of like gum, right? Gets
Yeah.
real gummy. Anybody who's roller to floor, who's roller painted their floors with epoxy primers like this, where you mix the 2 parts and they tell you, yeah, you got 3 hours to paint your floor. No, you don't.
Not
Especially
here. Yeah.
The rollers start sticking to the floor. Okay. So here's my colors. I hope you like them. They match the Barker Mill. This is a maroon this is a Scout 3.5 inch. I'm sure a couple of my restorer guys are going to like this one.
Yeah, this is an old vise that we restored.
I think it's a school vise.
Yeah, huh?
Metal shop. I don't know that. It just has that.
Yeah, if anybody knows anything about this vise, we appreciate it if you'd provide some input.
Yeah, so this one's got a ding, so I'm going to do a little touch up and rebake it. It's not going to hurt it while we're here.
Sure.
Okay, these are the 3 parts I'm painting. This one will be the maroon. Here, the handle, I'm going to paint it right up to here. So this will be the maroon,
Sure.
because that's all I need to protect. And this one, and this is where my little spin handle goes, and I put a cork.
Oh, yeah. Let's see right there.
Okay, see, because this is my cork kit. See, I got all these nice laboratory grade corks, all the different sizes. See?
Yeah.
And you can use cork and regular masking tape under infrared light. And the reason you can do that, because we have the silicone stops for when we do powder coating, and we have the plastic tape for powder coating, because you can't use masking tapes.
Right. The masking tape and the corks would just burn up.
There wouldn't be anything left after the powder coating. But for this type of 2-part epoxy under the infrared light, you can go ahead and use this tape. It comes right off. And you can use these corks, which is really nice. And I'm going to be painting these 2 gray. I'm going to paint this base gray and this beautiful top part of the spindexer gray. We mask what's necessary. And then we're going to put it under the heat lamp, and it's going to sit there for a few hours, actually, up to, can be. I'm waiting for the temperature to use a heat gun, but I'll get into that when we get over there. So let me share, I'm going to use a brush, these are nice, I like these. 1-inch brush is plenty for this. I'm going to mix 4 ounces, I'm only going to need like 1 ounce. It's just the way life is, you can only mix a bare minimum.
Yeah.
Here's a tape tip for you. Can I give a tape tip, Patrick?
Sure.
See the tape, how it comes in the plastic? Not all tapes do. This one does, and if it does, I suggest this to you guys. Please use it. And here's what I'm going to share. 2 things. Tape is sensitive. It's got a sticky surface and it's sensitive. It shouldn't be stored in the garage. It shouldn't be stored in a non-controlled air environment. I always like to keep it indoors like I do with the paints. I keep the paints actually in the kitchen in a dark space, because I want you to realize 2 things on this tape. By not getting it too hot or too cold, it's actually really good and real sticky tape. It's always really nice, and my hands are always clean when working with it. And here's why. You notice I had the tape standing up when you came by. The tip I want to give you is, if I do that, it just picks up all the dust in the lint.
And this is a clean surface, by the way.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. Otherwise this roll's going in the trash, and it's happened before where the roll's fallen over, and I just throw it away. I know it sounds wasteful, but my tip of the day is, you always want to make sure your tape is always either in its clean plastic holder or always just standing up. You can use it out in the garage or anywhere you want. Just make sure it's standing up.
Yeah, it's always just a good habit just to keep it standing up at all times.
Yeah.
Because if you lay it down, all that lint and debris gets on it, and then your paint
you
lines.
can't get your edge lines.
That's right.
I want to be able to mask right up to these lines like I've done here. You see how I did that? See how I paint right up at the lines?
That's right. That's a good example.
See, that lettering was painted using that little cotton roller we did a while back. Okay. Patrick, come on over, will you? Let me show you the paint real quick, and then before I leave.
Sure.
Okay, this is the Sherman-Williams 2-part paint. We actually went to the store when we special ordered this, and we sat down, we had a meeting with the management there. They teach you some things, right, Pat? Because you get a lot of paperwork with paint.
Yeah, you do.
You do, and here's why. Commercial paints have a lot of rules and a lot of things you can and cannot do with them.
Right.
And the main thing is just to be knowledgeable and educated in what you're about to paint. This is a really expensive paint, okay?
Yeah.
Really beyond expensive. And that's why we always utilize, even though we've already painted the Barker Mill, which was what this is bought for, and that's done already. You notice we keep painting accessories and vices and anything else because I'm going to use it till it's gone. I can't afford to keep buying this in different colors of the map, you know?
Right.
It only lasts so many years. Patrick, what's my lesson for this paint? What did they teach us?
Okay, really quick, just so you know, these are exactly the same product, just different colors. See, that's the red and the gray, just so you know. And there is the hardener that goes with it.
Yeah,
when you buy it. Oh yeah, let me.
You get these. Each can comes one.
Let me. Oh, yeah, that's good, and that's called the B. So you got the B and then the A. Yeah, what was really interesting is, as you know, we live in California and we have really strict guidelines on. They call it low VOC, and it has to do with solvents. California doesn't like strong solvents in products, and being that this 2-part epoxy is a very strong solvent-based paint, they actually had problems selling this in California. And California wasn't going to let them sell this particular paint. And the way the salesman explained it to us, okay, remember, this is a salesman explaining it to us, and we aren't paint experts either, so it may not be very accurate. But the way the salesman explained it to us was, in order to sell it in California, they had to take the solvent molecule and encapsulate it in a water molecule or molecules. And it's kind of funny, and by doing that, they're able to get it past the California guidelines. And it's kind of a joke because, once the water evaporates, then you've got your solvent. So the solvent's still there, but it was just a trick they played to get it past, get it past through the certification process. Well, I'd just like to share that.
A bit of a gimmick from a chemical company's point of view.
Yeah.
It is the only paint we can get in California.
It really is.
What this does. This is bulletproof.
Oh no, we're really strict. Here in California, we can't even buy 99% isopropyl alcohol.
Nope.
And here, we use it, but we have to order it out of state. And it's that ridiculous.
So I am done. I will have you back when I'm painting on the floor.
That's right.
Okay, so let me mix my paint. Let me remove my fine coat. We do not use this coat in painting, or we will have to have 100 of them.
Yes.
So I'm going to remove my coat. I'm going to mix up this. I'm going to cure it. I'm going to be over at paint when I have you back.
Okay.
And then when I get done painting, I'll have you back one more time to share an infrared light, how it works, and what I know about it. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay, guys, thanks.
Lance is ready to start painting, and he just finished mixing the paint, and it's cured for 20 minutes.
It's about 20, yeah. A little under because it's a little bit drier this morning.
Okay. And you're starting with the red first, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm going to do these two reds. I just got to touch up here and do this one here.
Okay.
And then it's going to go off to the heat, to the infrared heat.
Yeah, if you notice really quick, I should probably mention, if you could barely hear Lance, he is wearing, I think it's from 3M, one of the dual cartridge charcoal filter units. And this is, I'm not wearing one, so I can't be out here very long, because this is a requirement. This is not optional, and we really want to...
It's mandatory.
Yeah, we want to stress that it's mandatory. It's not an option. This 2-part paint system, the solvents are very strong.
Oh.
I mean, I can't say it enough. So just wanted to mention that. So just quickly, I just wanted to show you guys. Lance was...
It's a lot of work. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work for 3 little parts and a little touch-up.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it is. It's all about the hours of prep and the 2 minutes worth of painting.
Right. It's all in the prep, right?
It's just the way it is, guys. So I'm glad you're joining me on it. I'm going to paint now. I'll have you back when we get to the oven.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to let you... I'm going to let you start painting, and I'm going to get out of here.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm back out with Lance again.
All right, here it is. This is the infrared heat lamp we use. And, heat lamps like this, you just turn them on, And the only way you adjust your temperature actually is to pull your distance. So right now, this recommendation for these 4 small parts here in this center area is between 24 and 30 inches. What I really have them at is 24 from the lamp to the floor. But you come back, I'm sitting at 18. It tells you as you learn and get experience, your machine may vary. Conditions where you live may vary. And so forth. So we like 18 inches and have done a lot of parts this way. A lot of Barker parts were done this way. Pat's going to show you the light there, huh, Pat?
Yeah, it gets really red.
It's hot. It's heating that material. Now, I have a heat gun, right, Patrick?
Yeah.
And I always check, once it starts heating up, and it just started. I just wanted to bring Pat out. See, it's climbing. As you see, it's at 104 right now, 105, drops down. See, depends on what I hit, 106. See, some surfaces are going to get hot faster, and what you want to do is rotate around. What you're looking for is to make sure, say, down under here, you want to paint. Is it getting too cold spot? So we're going to rotate it around and get the hot spot, and we want to get the heat pretty equalized. And it's going to be under here well, it's going to need to get up to a good high temperature in the 100 and something, 140s, I believe it is.
Right, about 100, about 120,
pushing, yeah.
about 120 to 140. It's going to vary
It depends on the metal it's on, what the surface
and
is.
depending on the distance of the lamp to the part.
Yep.
Okay, and that's a good point because we aren't looking for an actual temperature. We're looking for equal across all the parts.
Right. The way this paint continues to finish is, once this temperature is hit and it sits there for a period of time, hour or so, whatever it takes to get there, and you feel good about the heat, you turn it off. And these parts don't cure till they actually come back down to room temperature.
Right.
That's what we've been trained. So when they come down, these will be as hard as a rock when they're room temperature, by the way. So 7 days from now, they'll be hard as steel. But even when they're cold, they'll be hot or hard. So they'll get harder over 7 days or so, full curing process time and all that stuff. That's what we've read. So that's what I'm sharing.
Can I add a couple of things on the lamp? Okay.
It's fancy.
Okay, this is an infrared lamp, and you can actually use it for paint, for fillers, bondos, glues, so a variety of uses. And the other point I want to make is this infrared lamp is made for those applications. It works at a different frequency. It's not the same spectrum as the heaters that you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or any of the hardware stores or whatever. Those heaters work at a different spectrum where they focus the heat on the surface. And that's where it's good for like in a patio where you want to heat the surface of your skin so it's cozy. Well, this spectrum actually penetrates through the paint and to the bare surface of the metal. And that's the proper way to cure paint, is you want to cure it from the inside out. And that's what this spectrum does. So really important, you don't want to go out and buy one of those really cheap infrared heaters and think it's going to accomplish the same thing, because what it's going to do is it's going to dry the surface and leave the inside still wet.
And did you know it bonds plastic if you keep it far enough away for a long period of time? I just learned that today. See, I'm always learning what other uses can I use with the tools that we have.
Right.
We mess with a lot of stuff because we're doing some acrylic and stuff polishing this week, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well that's it. I'll have you back. Next time you see this, I'll have the parts I'll have them all unmasked probably.
Great.
And share how my results are or not. I hope we don't get any drips or anything. Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're out in the machine shop and Lance is going to share the final stage of the spindexer with us.
Look at all my pretty shiny colors. Okay.
Yeah, look, they even look different now. Look at that.
See, these are the only 3 that had to be painted. The rest of this is the assembly. I personally like my cold bluing. See, that's beautiful. That's the what do you call this one up here, Pat?
Oh, the spindle lock.
The spindle lock there. There it is.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
No, look at those parts. They look beautiful.
And in
all
true fashion, I actually kept the original screw. I cleaned it up. I squared its corners and everything. I like to do all that. See?
Oh yeah.
See, that's the actual bolt that came with it. Sometimes we replace them. In this case, I didn't want to. Okay, but I'm not here for that. I'm not even here to brag about my pretty paint job. Of course, I'm pretty proud of it. Okay, we painted these with a special 2-part epoxy paint, and when we bought this paint, we had to buy it we didn't have to, but we did because when you're doing machinery, you need to get the primer kit and the paint kit. And the reason you need the primer kit is, and here's an example of one, you don't see it now, but before this paint, what they call top coat was put on, it's not paint, it's a top coat, excuse me. There's a primer here. You see how it's not shiny? Can you pick that up? You see how there's paint?
Yeah, it's not as shiny and glossy. It's more like matte.
That's the primer. The primer's mixed with the hardener 1-to-1. That means that's basically Kevlar.
Yeah.
Because the top coat's tough too. So this particular part, these are not primed. They're top coats only. And this top coat was only put on after the primer. Why would he not prime those when he primed this one? Well,
right.
This has body filler. We put a bunch of body filler in here to make this look really pretty because...
Right, they don't see it now, but this, I mean, it was all dented up everywhere.
This was a high school metal shop, Mr. Pete style vise.
So it was really banged up, and we made it really pretty.
We made it pretty as a good paint sample and to put it on display. And some practice here. Some honing your skills. Remember, we always want to preach the honing the skills. So it has holes drilled in it and everything. We had to fix it all up, but that requires primer before you can top coat it, or it'll have a shrinkage problem.
Sure.
Okay.
What are the reasons why you'd want to use primer?
Okay, for you machine guys, first of all, this is the top of the road. When you see this kind of two-part epoxy primer and paint used, this is the highest level of machine painting that we know about today.
Right.
This is beyond powder coat, okay? I'm going to say that because that's true.
Yeah, this paint is extremely tough, hard, solvent resistant.
Oh boy,
The
acetone
best.
safe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just like what you would have if you bought a really nice, knee mill today. Okay. So when you need this primer use is not only is it just used for the filler, it has two other applications. The primer is required on machines that have smooth, like let's take the bed of a mill. It has those smooth, round sides and everything, but yet they're painted.
Right.
Okay, you can't put the top coat without the primer there.
Okay.
And that's why that primer's 1-to-1 hard mix. It's hard as a rock. It becomes the layer you can put the top coat on. Kind of creates a tough surface to paint on.
Right.
That's fair. And the other one, so you got your bonnet. Oh, and anywhere where there's a high wear area, okay, really high wear. Now, see, in this case, we have a handle. So there's no high wear here going on. I'm not putting this on. Don't worry. It goes on there, but that's not going there. That's not a high wear. These aren't high wear parts here. High wear would be like where the table, again, we're going to get on the table where you've got your table and you're constantly mounting stuff to it and taking it off.
Little Barker milling machine, you only prime the table, right?
I did. I primed that table from top to bottom and then painted it because it's got a maroon T-slot trays and coolant trays, and then it's got the sides that are a precision ground.
Yeah, we did that because we're going to be using cutting oils, solvents, whatever. I mean, it's going to take the
air gun.
Yeah, the air gun. It's going to take a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
So no, that makes a lot of sense with the body. We didn't need that, and we didn't use filler on the body. So it's just pure cast iron that's porous. And that's why we didn't, if I understand correctly, that's why we didn't need the primer, right?
That's right.
Okay.
It's just this stuff's all coarse. See, it's all
Right.
coarse. Okay, and I didn't do any body filler work.
That's
okay.
right.
Okay, so
That's
got
right.
that. Okay, the last lesson here is not in all of this paperwork. It's not on the internet, and it's not because. And here's the kicker: and we live in a dry, high heat, arid desert, and yet they don't share this with you, and I'm going to. If you mix this. They call sweat in time for the primer. There is no sweat in time for the top coat. So that's fine. And you mix the two parts epoxy together, and this is 3-to-1 for the top coat and 1-to-1 for the primer.
Sure.
So the 3-to-1, you mix it, you paint it on, that's fine. You can mix it and start painting. We wait about 15, 20 minutes and we start painting. It starts that bonding together. Okay, and you only get about an hour's pot life, they call it, for it to paint where we live now. That can go all the way up to 8 hours if you live on the East Coast.
Right.
It depends on where you are. So in our case, it's 1 hour. So somewhere between there and 8 hours is the middle land, maybe the middle of the country. Okay. So here's my lesson. When you do this top coat, we painted it. We put a cardboard box over it to keep the dust and the stuff because it's very sticky. Okay. And then the next morning, we put it under the heat and we baked it.
That's right.
Because that way this had a chance for those two materials to bond together and stiffen a little bit, because if you put this under that heat and it's not, and you just finished painting it, even though the instructions say nothing about it to us that we were able to find anyway, and we're not paint experts.
No.
We're just doing the best we can, and it's taken us 3 runs of doing this paint to figure out what was wrong. It'll tend to want to drip in the heat from the
infrared.
Infrared, thank you. I was all into the sunlight here.
Yeah.
Infrared. And so we found by putting it under a cardboard box, leaving it under for about 12 hours, overnight, whatever it is, and then put it in the baking and do that, go ahead and cook it, it doesn't run. There gets no runs. So I said, that's our new process around here now. So that's what I wanted to share. That's all I know today.
No, great. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Okay. We'll be back when Patrick builds me he's going to do a CNC program here, right? We're going to
That's right.
do a CAD drawing in SolidWorks to create the indexing plate that we want that best fits our application here. And we'll share that with its spring-loaded thing when we finally machine it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to share the whole process with the viewers.
Oh, we're going to go ahead and share making it on the SolidWorks and everything?
Exactly. From the SolidWorks process, maybe we'll even ask for input, from
Sure.
the users. And we'll machine it on a little tag mill and use a lathe. Whatever the machining process is, we're going to do it entirely here.
Yeah, so that'll be a little fun adventure. I don't know what material yet and all that, but we'll figure it out. We'll share it with you. You'll be right here with us.
Great.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, we are out in the machine shop, and that's clear by the color of coat that Patrick is wearing, blue. And we're going to have a little discussion. I had a part that's part of the carry refurbishing, and Patrick's going to give you details on that and what he's going to need to do to it. And it's his job to do this today. I'm off the hook for this one.
Yeah, but this will be a fun project, actually. I think it was a week ago Lance mentioned to you guys about polishing plastic. He had mentioned, what do we do when we have a plastic or an acrylic part that's intricate, small, detailed, something that would be very difficult to polish on a bench buffer, and we're going to share what we do and what product we recommend, and we'll actually do the entire process with you so we can see the results. And we're going to do it live, so I'm going to hope that we get good results.
Because that thing's almost like a plastic cup with a bottom and everything, and it has to all be done. And yet it's not just easy access acrylic or plastic.
Absolutely. See, we've got to polish the inside, and there's all these little details. And what this is, just kind of give you a visual idea how this works, is this actually covers the micrometer thimble, with the micrometer readings. So it pops out here, and this is where you adjust it, and your readings inside here. So it kind of protects your micrometer head.
Oh, that's good. That way we don't bump it when we're checking parts all the time.
Right. And then this mounts onto the onto the comparator's base. So, and remember, this is a new old stock comparator that we showed you last week on parts. So overall, this is in really good condition, as you can see. It's a little foggy just due to its age and storage. You can kind of see that. And then also, it looks like over time, the micrometer head dripped oil. That's all we can assume, because that's actually the bottom right there of this. And you can see where it's all dirty. It just looks like lubrication, which would make sense. So this isn't in too bad condition. And I'm going to polish this in front of you guys, but I also want to find something in worse condition, just so that we can see more drastic results, go from bad, before, after, bad, and good. So what I found was I have this little leaven collet set. These are these are jewel collets, and it has this little, I'm not sure if it's plastic or acrylic, but it has this little slider, and this would be a good test case to polish, because as you can see, it has a lot of little fine scratches.
Oh, it even has a fancy name on it.
Yeah, look at that little leaven stamp. So this will be interesting to see how well this polishes up. Okay, let me share the product with you. I have it right up here. It's called Novus plastic polish. And there's actually, you'll notice there's 1, number 2, number 3. And how you want to look at this, it's like different grades. The number 1, look at it as just strictly a shining or a polish, like a metal polish. Its only intended purpose is to clean and polish plastic to bring out that luster. Okay. 2, you want to use 2 for very fine hairline scratches. Okay. A good example of the type of scratch or the type of scratches I'm talking about would be, okay, anybody who wears eyeglasses or even sunglasses, if you aren't supposed to use your shirt, to clean your lenses, but sometimes we're out somewhere and we have no choice but to use our shirt, and after a while we get all those hairline scratches on our lenses. That would be a perfect example of why you'd want to use this product. It's for the scratches that are visual, but you can't really feel them with your finger or your nail. Okay, and this is pretty extreme though. See, although you can't really feel them, there's quite a bit of them. So the eyeglass scenario would be more accurate. Okay, then the number 3, it's a little more abrasive, and it's meant to be used where this would be a good example, where you have a lot of fine scratches, or maybe a little deeper.
Oh yeah, that one even says heavy scratch remover.
Yeah, see that heavy scratch.
And the other one says fine scratch remover. The other one just says like a cleaner and shine. Like
that's right.
It just literally says, well, I'm soft, I'm easy, I'm a little tougher, and I'm going to get you.
Okay, well I'm glad you brought that up, because see, when they say heavy, they don't mean heavy in terms of deep scratches. They mean heavy as in a lot of scratches. And that brings up a good point, because if you go on the internet, it's kind of interesting. You'll see reviews from one end to the other, meaning you'll have reviews where they praise the product, such as we do. We love the product for its intended purposes.
You've been using this a long time, haven't you?
Oh, I think we've been using it for a little over 20 years.
Yeah.
It's an old product. I think I looked. I think it came out in 1973. So it's been around for a while. And so on the reviews, you're going to see reviews of people praising it. It's an excellent product. But the other end of the scale, you're going to find people that are very discouraged with it. They think it doesn't work. It's a waste of money. And my personal opinion is the people that are dissatisfied with it aren't using it for its intended purposes. And I think the best way to describe what I'm talking about is, let's go up to our whiteboard.
Oh, it's time to hit the classroom.
Okay, let me know when you're ready, Lance.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's take this item for example. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a side section of it. So let's say this represents looking at the side of this plate, this plastic plate, like this. Okay. Okay, and let's say we've got this deep scratch, like that. Okay, just to make it clear.
Oh, it looks like a valley.
Exactly. Okay, so this would be considered a deep scratch. Okay, and when you look at, when you're polishing actually anything, we're focusing on plastic, but this would apply if you're polishing plastic, metals, even paint. If you got a scratch in your paint on your car, what is it going to take to remove that scratch? Well, what you got to think is there is no magical product that's going to make that scratch disappear. What you're going to have, in order to make this scratch invisible, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to bring the surrounding, so you're going to have to remove.
Oh, I know that somehow. I've had to do that with Delrin.
Yeah.
I remember it vividly. all the way. Long surfaces.
See, so the only way to remove that deep scratch is you're going to have to remove all this plastic surrounding it down to the level, to the deepest area of the scratch, just like I've drawn here. Okay, and so how are you gonna accomplish this? Okay, there's no polish that exists in the world that's gonna magically, where you're gonna magically apply it and it's just gonna, bring down the surface and remove the scratch. Okay, the other case that Lance and I were talking about earlier is, there's also not a magical product that's gonna fill in this scratch. I think there has been products, commercial for a product that kind of works on this concept for automobiles in hiding
Scratches and headlights, both.
For making scratches disappear. I think it works on that principle where they're filling in the scratches.
Oh yeah, it's magic, all right.
But it's not gonna. The problem with that method is it's not gonna last. It's not gonna have any longevity to it. So I just wanted to share that because you really got to consider this scenario. If the scratch is really deep, it's going to take a lot of effort to bring that surface down. So if you can't use a polish, what do? Well, you're going to have no choice but to use sanding paper. Okay, and you don't want to start with a really heavy grit. We're talking plastic. We're focusing on plastic today. So I would recommend starting with maybe 1,000, 1,200 grit, maybe 1,000 grit sandpaper, and kind of just gradually work. Because you don't want to get too aggressive, because if you get too aggressive, you're gonna create a lot of work for yourself, because you're gonna make a lot of deep scratches. Also, because plastic and acrylic soft, you're gonna get the wavy, the tendency to create waves in your plastic unless you flat sand. But as you can see, there's a lot of potential issues. So even though you're going to start with 1,000 or 1,200 grit sandpaper, it's not going to take long because we're talking about plastic. So I just wanted to mention that. Oh, and then after using 1,000 or 1,200 grit, you want to work up maybe to 2,000 and at least maybe 2,500 to 3,000 grit sandpaper. And then I would stop with that. And then once you're done with that, then that would be a good time to then go to the Novus polishing product and then finish it up with that to bring out that perfect luster.
Oh, that's great.
So let's go ahead and let's get shining. Or let's get polishing, huh, Lance?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do first is I just brought a cleaner, just a general cleaner. I just want to see if this cleans off before I do anything. Let's see what we're working with.
Yeah, what are we starting at?
Okay, good. That came off really easy. See, so it's just oil.
That's good
so that's
news.
really good news, and
Not some embedded brown substance we can't have to work our way down to it.
Well, sometimes there's some like cosmoline and stuff. It'll actually eat into the plastic or even some metals.
Work it down to it.
Yeah.
And then get past it, and then come back and start working. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really good news. Yeah, look at that.
That's your sanding paper scenario.
Okay, so that's really good news. Let's do this first real quick because it's going to be really easy. So as you can see, I don't think we even have to use number 2 because I really don't see. I see some scratches, but you know what? Let's go ahead and let's just try number 1. Let's see. Yeah, because if we don't have to use the abrasive products, let's not.
Don't do it just to do it. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, and before you use these, you want to shake them really well, especially the number 2 and number 3 that has the abrasives. You want to be sure it's mixed in really well. Okay, and in regards to the cloth, it's really important. You either want to use a brand new lint-free cotton cloth, or what I use is Novus makes, they call it Polish Mates. And
It's a good time for me to share. This is the difference. See, he gets all the fancy things, and this is my T-shirts that I chop into squares for all the polishing I do, like on these chucks for him. I don't get all those fancy pads. Just making a point.
And these are disposable, by the way. It's really light liquid, so I put on the towel first. Unlike the other products, I usually apply it on the part itself. Okay, and I'm pretty liberal with it, you know. And you know where this number 1 works really well? It's actually the number 1 is I don't use number 2 or number 3 in watchmaking. In watchmaking, you know, you have a watch with a crystal that's not that bad where the crystal doesn't need to be replaced. You know, maybe it's just a little foggy looking. Oh, this will bring it out really well. You know,
buy you a little time.
Buy you a little time. But our philosophy is, if a crystal on your watch is scratched, you're better off replacing it, just because the price of the part, it's too cheap to be putting labor into it to remove the scratches, you know.
Oh, it's looking pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. See, it not only it cleans it, and really
sparkling a little more.
Yeah, it really brings a luster out too. Really makes it nice and shiny, and yeah, actually, this is all it needs. I wouldn't.
And we could have just cleaned it up and put it back on the carry, right? But you know, we're trying to take you through each process. Whatever we discover, this is what we came across on the final works of the carry before it gets completely reassembled, huh, Patrick?
That's
before
right.
We finish it off. It's assembled. We just finish it off. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And I think Patrick likes a chance to give you guys a little shared lesson that he's proud to share with you. Ooh. You think you're like me nowadays, just polish it up over your shiny man. Oh, yeah.
It's pretty nice.
That's real nice. You can see it better now I can see it better. How's that funny?
It's
It really had a layer on it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it really brings, you know, when a plastic has that haze on it, this removes that haze, and it works really well, and it leaves it really glossy and smooth. You know how like plastic, when it gets old, it gets really rough feeling and dry. I like it because after this application, it feels really glossy, really nice. So I think it really is going to help in.
So that doesn't remove any material whatsoever.
No,
Not this one.
this removes absolutely zero material.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So that's why it's kind of nice, you know. Even if you want to try it, you know, if you aren't satisfied with it, you know, you can always just clean it and then apply one of the abrasive products. But see, if you don't have to, I mean, that's in really good condition. I can see some scratches, but not enough where I really want to get into the abrasives. Don't you agree, Lance?
Oh, no, it looks really good.
Yeah. So very good. Okay, so now you know why I had to find another part, because I kind of knew this was going to turn out pretty good.
Wasn't going to be the best example
Yeah.
of the day.
Okay, so let's do this. You know what I'm going to do, because we're videotaping this. I'm only going to do half so we can see a before and after. How does that sound?
Sounds exciting.
So let me try this. So I'll focus on this side. So let's close this up.
How did this cover, knowing how you treat everything, how did this cover get in such a horrendous condition?
Okay, what I think it is the top appears to be pretty glossy and shiny still. It's just the bottom of the cover that got all scratched up, and I think it's just from, you know, sliding over time, just sliding this back and forth over the collets.
Oh.
So it's the top of the collets that scratched it.
Okay.
So that makes a lot of sense.
So you're back in good graces. Okay.
So it wasn't me.
There we go.
Okay, because we've got a lot of fine scratches, we're going to start with number 3. And then after 3, we'll just work our way down. So let's get a new cloth. Oh, very important. You know, I keep saying it because I forget too. You always want to make sure you shake it really well before you open it. Okay, that should be fine because I shaked it before. Okay, look how, can you see how thick it is compared to number one? Number one, it was almost like water. See, now it's almost like a paste. Okay, let's turn around.
Can you move it?
Oh, here, let me,
Yeah, move bottle 2. Thank you.
There you go.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, a note that the manufacturer want you to do is, okay, let's say on this plate, let's say all my scratches were going horizontal this way. Okay, they suggest in that case you want to rub perpendicular in one direction. So you're actually rubbing against the scratches. Okay, and that's only for number 3. I'll get to number 2 when we're at that stage. But yeah, number 3, you want to go against the scratches. Okay, but in my case, my scratches are going all over the place for some reason. Mostly horizontal. So I'm actually going to go up and down, but I'm actually going to go in little circles as well. Yeah, just because I see, you know, scratches going in all different directions. Make sure.
So it's important to note, right? Everything we're doing is not in real time. There's no lapse going on here or something, huh?
That's right, no time lapse.
So this will give you a good idea what it takes to do this. Just simple little cover.
If you notice, I'm focusing more going up and down because, you know, most of my scratches are going this way because it, you know, it slides out over the collets this way. That's where most of the scratches are coming from.
Oh, okay.
But I'll do circles too, just make sure I get all the scratches really good.
It's actually good to see you out here working like I have to do all the time, finishing things.
Look at this, I'm getting dirty.
Oh my gosh. Can't believe he doesn't have his little gloves on or something.
Okay, let's do this. I mean, I'm not looking for perfection, so I think that's good. It's actually feeling smooth. You can actually feel it. You can feel, at first you can feel a little abrasive, like
grainy.
It's grainy, like you're really working it in, and then after a while it starts getting smoother and smoother. So I think that's a good sign. Okay. Okay, so we want to put this aside. We don't want to use this.
Hey, can I ask one more question? Just so people get
Oh, sure.
the whole thing here. How many years old? 11 doesn't make specialized watch tools anymore. So
No.
pretty easy for you, knowing what you know probably. What do you think? How old does that cover say? To give you an idea, when you do this work, how long it's going to last the next guy.
Oh, wow.
Just a guess. I mean, I know that.
God, that's got to be from the 50s.
Okay, so this gives everybody a good idea.
70 years, maybe?
70 years, yeah,
60, 70.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. So once you fix these kinds of things up, which we're taking the luxury to do and share, you get a nice cover for a long period of time if you just take care of it, right, Patrick?
That's right. Let me just, I don't want. Okay, okay, so I'm done with number 3. Okay, 2 things really important is you the cloth I used for number 3, you want to put it aside because you want to use a brand new cloth for number 2. You don't want to cross-contaminate the solutions. Okay, the other thing is when you're ready to change to another number, like we're going to move to number 2 now, you want to clean the part really well just to make sure, again, that we don't cross-contaminate.
Oh, we can see that's looking better. Look at that. I can just tell.
Yeah, look at that. And remember, we're only doing one side.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yes, let's do number 2.
I'm kind of hoping he doesn't have more of these covers because I have this feeling if he likes what he sees, he's going to want like the rest of them all done. And I know what that means. They'll be out here for me to do. Okay.
That's right. You know me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, as you can see, number 2. Okay, number 3 was white. Number 2 is brown. But it's also a thick paste.
So this is just a little less abrasive in it?
Yeah.
A little smaller diameter, maybe smaller size abrasive or less
That's
of it?
correct. That's correct.
Okay, well, that's neat.
Yeah, it's not
You're
as
just stepping down like sandpapers do.
absolutely just like sandpaper. We're moving from one grit and getting higher in the grits into a finer grit.
Perfect.
Yeah, as you can see, it's actually I'm not as thick as number 3.
I hope your arm can get through all this. There's a lot of work for you here.
Oh, before I I just got it. Oh, before I forget. Okay, unlike number 3 where they want you to rub against the scratches, okay, for number 2, they want you to go just in circular motions. See, I almost forgot. So always circular motions for number 2. Yeah, let me tell you something about Lance. We've been friends forever, and one thing I've noticed, when he knows I'm busy and focused and concentrating on something, that's when he starts talking a lot.
That's
and
when I get away with things.
Yeah, that's when he asks for things or.
That's how I get things. See, after all these years, I figured it all out.
Yeah, because he knows I'll just say, oh, yeah, whatever.
Oh, it's looking better. Well, that's good. Yeah, hold that right up against your shirt, actually. Work shirt. There you go. Yeah, you can see it. Kind of lean it forward. Right there. There you go. Yeah, there it is. You can see it. See, it's coming along really, really well.
Yeah, pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so now we're just to the final step.
Number 1.
Yeah, number 1.
Clean and shine.
The clean and shine. Bring it to a fine luster.
Now, what did you do? You have to wipe the last one off completely.
Yeah, after each stage, make sure... I'm just using a general cleaner. There's a multi-purpose cleaner. Okay? You can use just any cleaner. But I just know that this is safe on plastics. That's important. Okay? And yeah, you want to be sure you remove all the prior polishing compound before you get to the next step. Because you don't want that, you don't want, again, to cross-contaminate. Actually, I think I'm fine. Yeah, here, let me... Okay, and you can see this one's a port here. See how it's almost like water.
Oh, we're already picking up shine from the light now, see? You can just tell.
Oh, yeah. But see how it's like
water.
water.
It's like clear.
Yeah, it's not paste at all. Like
a little foggy material.
Yeah, little
very little.
Yeah, a little foggy, but...
Just in case you guys can't see that, I think you'll be fine, though. That's nice.
And again, number 1, just in a light circular motion. Light, you don't want to get aggressive. Remember, this has no abrasives. It just adds a luster to the plastic. It makes it glossy. It even feels glossy after this process.
It'll last longer, maybe. It's
I think
designed to
so.
help keep a little layer of polishing on it.
Like it puts oils in it. That's
nice.
the feel it has, yeah. Okay, so let me do the other side. Just to clean it.
Oh, so we can get a good reading.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah, I got it. You can see it really well. Yep.
Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah, so as you can see, I mean, see, like I told you at the beginning, this was a perfect example of where this product really shines. And no pun intended. I didn't mean that either. And because you could just tell, she, like anything, so I can get my fingernail, and although there's a lot of scratches, you know, you can't really, your nail doesn't bite into anything, but it just feels rough. So this was a good example where this product would be really effective. As you can see, it was really effective.
And safe.
And safe, yeah. And yeah, because that's a point, you know, if you got scratches, you know, that's a good test. A fingernail test is a good test. You know, if you can fill those scratches with your fingernail, this product by itself is probably not going to remove the scratches unless you put it in a lot of elbow grease, you know. But rather than do that, you're probably better off just starting with, like I said, if it's light scratches that you can fill, you know, maybe, you know, before you use the polishes, you know, try 2500, 3000 grit sandpaper first, and then go from there, because you'll have much better results at the end.
Great.
But, okay, well, thank you for watching.
Okay, see you later.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you leave us one of those comments, maybe we have something we can answer. We will never leave a question unanswered. Thank you.